Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Rolly versus Barroso. Really quick, if you like the channel, please take the time right now, subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. If you have, thank you. If you have recently, thank you and welcome. Also, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help support this channel. Now, let's talk about this video. This is a video I didn't want to make. I really don't like making videos that I feel, what's wrong with boxing, but this is a perfect example of what's wrong with boxing. This is exactly what's wrong with boxing: corruption, politics, favoritism. A large portion. This fight in particular was mainly just favoritism. Even when the best are not fighting, boxing still finds a way to corrupt the situation and never fails. So boxing still manages to get over on the fans. And it's just like, listen, was this going to be the fight of the century? No, it wasn't going to be the fight of the century. But everything from this fight shows me that it was going to go one way regardless. And that's what's wrong with boxing. What's wrong with boxing is marketing, in promotion. Once again, they're going to choose the younger fighter. Once again, they're going to choose the guy with the bigger social media platform and the guy who's, this new age boxer who does a lot of this to sell fights. Barroso is an older gentleman. He's not going to do that. He's old school. He's going to get his fights the right way. And he certainly isn't going to berate or disrespect anybody who steps in the ring. You look at Rolly, he has a large following, doesn't really care what comes out of his mouth. He can be as disrespectful as humanly possible. And as long as it moves the needle, like I said, this is everything that's wrong with boxing. This alone let me know Barroso was not going to walk out the ring with that belt. The only way he's going to walk out the ring with the belt is if Rolly got knocked out and was rendered unconscious. Because keep in mind, Rolly went down in the 9th, and that didn't help the situation. And at that point, you get a knockdown, you're like, all right, I kind of got this thing in the bag. If it's been going somewhat well for you, I kind of got this thing in the bag. And then this still happens, This is what's wrong with boxing. This is exactly what's wrong with boxing. First thing Rolly says after the fight is, I want to fight Ryan Garcia. Let's be clear. As long as Rolly was to exit the ring conscious, he was going to win the belt. Period. That was already decided before Rolly and Barroso had walked into the ring. He was going to win that belt. Why? Because they want to replicate what just happened with Ryan and Tank. Yes, Tank has a large following. And yes, Tank can sell out an arena, but with Ryan, they could do record-breaking numbers. Now, if we can just replicate that and we can get Ryan and Rolly, we can keep the money in-house because it's all a PBC thing at this point. So we can just keep the money in-house and we can have Ryan, take on Rolly, which honestly is the best time for Rolly. I personally don't think that Rolly can beat Ryan Garcia. I think he's rough and tough. But I think like the Gervonta Tank Davis fight, I think he'll just walk into something, to be quite frank with you. I think he'd just walk into something. I think he would be so full of himself that he would just dare to walk onto Ryan. Not to mention at a bigger weight. He doesn't have to cut down as much. He would be even bigger. He would be even stronger. And I feel like he would just try to muscle his way with Ryan, and he would get clipped with something. I think he would get clipped with something. I really do. I just think he'd get clipped with something. He's not the smartest fighter in the world. He's clumsy. He oversteps himself. And there's not a whole lot of thought behind a lot of things he does. He just knows that he's somewhat fast, but more importantly, he's really powerful and he's really strong. And, with that combination, he can beat any number 3 guy, around. But you get somebody who can think. I'm not saying Ryan Garcia is the best scientific or technical boxer in the world, but I am saying that I think he can outclass Rolly, and I think that check hook of his would definitely either rattle Rolly or just get Rolly out of there. Rolly can hit, but he doesn't like being hit. And we've seen that yet again where Barroso, he doesn't like getting hit, but he can dish it out all day. So would this be the best time to fight Ryan Garcia? Yeah, it would be the best time to fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, he's in a stupor. There's a lot of things going on with Ryan Garcia. For one, we don't know who's going to be training Ryan Garcia, so he's got to figure that situation out, and that trust has to be built. Two, we're not sure, 100% sure at least, if Ryan Garcia is going to be staying with the promotion that he's with, Golden Boy Promotions. There was a little friction. There was friction prior to that fight. And, everything that happened after the fight, there's still a little friction there. So that's the second thing. But also the mental aspect of it, Ryan lost. So dealing with the fact that now you're a fighter with a loss in his record and you're no longer undefeated, that's got to play, a factor as well. And probably the biggest factor, do I really have it? Am I really an elite? Am I really, one of the top guys? So you would also be dealing with that. At least Rolly, he got back into the winning column. I don't think he deserved to be back in the winning column, but he's back in the winning column. Rolly has a belt. I don't think he deserves that belt, but he has a belt. So in terms of confidence going into a fight between Rolly and Ryan Garcia, I should be able to favor Rolly, but because Rolly's so bullheaded, I still would go Ryan Garcia. But if ever there were a time for Rolly to face Ryan Garcia, I definitely think it would be now. I think this would be his greatest and best opportunity to get one over on Ryan Garcia. And then he says, after I want to fight Ryan, I want to get rid of him. Then I want to go after Tank. I want that rematch. In which case, obviously it's all about big payday fights. It's amazing that, Devin Haney is out there, call out Devin Haney. I mean, why not call him out? I get it. You've moved up in weight, but still, I would keep my eyes on somebody like a Devin Haney. Personally, I don't think he should go up just yet, because now that I think the one thing that Rolly really has over guys is the fact that he's like a full-on welterweight and he's fighting at the weight that he's been fighting at. But if you go to a higher weight, well, then that one advantage you had is now gone. You're just like everybody else, and you're not an elite fighter, and you're just like everybody else. The punching power isn't elite or isn't, supreme or very notable. You're just like everybody else, and your IQ isn't quite there. So I think the best thing for him to do is stay at a lower weight. But if he wants to go and take on Ryan Garcia at 140, by all means, I think he should, if he can get that fight. I don't think he deserves that fight, quite frankly. But I understand what they're trying to do in a marketing standpoint. I think it's wrong. I think it's undermined for them to steal from Barroso and then flat out tell him, you're not getting a rematch. You're old news. You're done. You're done. We're going to retire you tonight. You're done. And, that sucks, but that's boxing. And that's what I don't like about boxing. Usually in there you can kind of dictate your own future and your own destiny. But, when the promotion's against you, when the referee looks like he was paid to be against you because he was not hurt, I don't know why that was stopped. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I hope that, he contests that as much as he possibly can, because that's ridiculous. And there was no sense of sportsmanship from Rolly to say, oh, I'm fighting Ryan Garcia next. I'm not going to fight him next. I'm not going to give him a rematch. Why not? Why not? You look bad during the fight. You got put down during the fight. To my knowledge, he was losing on the scorecards. So I don't understand why he wouldn't want to give a rematch. But again, when it's all about money and all about marketing, nobody really cares. They just want to see two young guys with really big mouths who talk a lot of trash with large social media followings and about that much to do with boxing in itself. It just so happens that, the fight that everybody really wants, or Rolly really wants, is the rematch with Tank. And Tank has a lot of boxing knowledge, but Rolly has none. And it's not as if he's going to beat Tank in a rematch anyway. But that's how the ball bounces in the world of boxing. It never ceases to amaze me. And the fact that there's not enough uproar, that also, not to say that's not shocking, but there's not enough uproar. Things like this continue to happen when people like you and myself don't say anything, or we support these things. That's why things like this, and you have your Al Haymans and your Bob Abrams, and they sit up there like mafia dons, and they just control everything. But we are the people, we're the ones who are buying these fights, and you know at some point we got to say what we want. At some point we gotta fight for some injustice. What happened to Barroso was not right, not fair, and I don't think it was cool. I don't think it was cool in terms of sportsmanship. I don't think it was cool in terms of promotion. And that referee seriously needs to get looked at. That was really not cool, because that man was not in any way, shape, or form hurt, or it didn't seem to be in any danger. So I don't know where he got that from. And then just to wave it off, like you didn't want to stop it and check on him or anything, but just to wave it off. I'm not for that. I don't know. That's pretty much all I have. Honestly, I just wanted to say that. I didn't want to make a "this is what's wrong with boxing" video, but this is exactly what is wrong with boxing. As always, please like, please share, please subscribe to this channel.